Hi, welcome back. I'm outside at the workshop at the moment. I'm in a swinging time on the swing. I'm having melon, it's lovely. But do you remember this? We made this for the last time for, it's an adjusting block for the siege milling machine. So we need 4 of them. We've covered that. But now I want to look at another thing. And that is, you have a swinging time on your lathe. But when I say that, more to the point, does your lathe rock and roll when you try to use it? Because they sometimes do. And what happens is that if it's not mounted correctly on a level floor, now it could be concrete, it could be wood. Lots of people have lathes mounted in wooden sheds, so they have a wooden floor. Whether it's concrete or wood, it could still rock and roll and vibrations can be set up. You don't want vibrations, only the good vibrations with rock and roll, you see. So let's have a look at how we can overcome this this problem. I think we'll adjourn into the workshop just shortly, so I can show you. It's only going to be a short video of this because I can't show you exactly where the mounting blocks go underneath the lathe because it's so dark in there. The video will cut out. It's cut out on me twice already. It doesn't make sense, but I'm hoping it's going to be okay this time. So let's go and see what we can do. Oh, here we go, outside the workshop. Past the Fairy Glen Falls, when you see the fairies come out at night. And we're going to go to into the workshop now. Follow me. Oops. Follow me. I'm holding the camera as well, so I'm following myself. Okay, so here we go. Inside here. Oh, it looks a bit dull now. It was so nice outside. And here we are. Let's see. Put this up a bit. There. Well, I'm hoping the light is a bit variable at the moment because we've got clouds. Clouds outside, passing clouds and things. So as I say, we've got this what we made last time, and you can make a similar thing for the lathe. Now the mounting points on the lathe are on the bottom. It's difficult to see in this light, but I'm going to try to show you. This is the box for the lathe. Yeah. So you see the box for the lathe, and then the mounting block can be placed. Well, that's not bad, is it? In here. So there's 4 screws. I'll try and point them out to you. Oops. That's me catching it with my foot. I'm pointing it with this thing here. I can see it there. There's 1 screw there with a locking nut. The other one, the other side, you just can't see because it's hidden from view by the motor, which is there. So you can only see that one, but it doesn't matter. Shut that up. And then the other side of the lathe, I don't know if you can see this one any better. No, it's just the same. It's in there, but we can't see it. Well, it's mounted just there. Okay. So there's one on the other side as well, which is behind some shelving. A little bit awkward to get to, but what happens is that, whoa, once you've done it, it's fine, but it can take sometimes a long time to get it, an abnormally long time to get it correctly positioned to stop the vibrations. Okay, so just trying to come up here a bit with this. Yeah. Okay, so I want to talk about the various vibrations that can be set up. So if it's not level, you've got to remember this lathe weighs about half a ton on the stand, and it's balanced on 4 points. Okay, and so if you don't, some people put it in position without any screws at all. So whether or not it's a concrete floor, the concrete is not always level, so it can sort of move up and down in variations of the concrete, and you can push the lathe, see, one side. It's quite heavy, you see. So that's one thing. So that's why you need the adjusting screws for the levelling it up, and the levelling block what I've already spoken about. Don't overdo it. A little at a time. The lower it is to the floor, the better it is, because it keeps the centre of gravity low, and it doesn't have the tendency to rock and roll too much, and it can stabilise it. But it's better to have that little bit of screw onto the block rather than that bit, because it just makes it builds instability that if you do it that way too much. And you can try it and see. Anyway, you need to do a little bit at a time adjusting it, and you have to go think on all the way around, and you have to move it yourself to find out which one wants adjusting. So it's a combination of using all four. Takes a bit of time, but it works. When you've done that, you'll know that it's stable, because if you turn one too much, it'll make it more unstable, if you know what I mean. Or if you don't, you try it and then you'll see. Now the other thing is, unlike the siege that we did last week, you remember that was the siege milling machine. Okay, so we did that. Unfortunately, I can't show you the mounting positions in here too much, because it's too dark and it's not practical anyway. But believe me, it's just the same as the siege miller, which was easier to get to, if those who watch the video could see. But there is another thing on the lathe which I find quite beneficial, and that is, in addition to the screws, apply a wedge. Yes, a wedge. Now, let me see. Just a minute. Wooden wedge. Wooden wedge. Why do we want a wedge? Because once you've adjusted it as well, sometimes you can get a slight wobble. It's like we're getting wobble on the camera here. But yeah, clouds come over and obscure the view. Anyway, I want to show you, if I can, one position of the wedge, and the wedge can easily be moved into position using that. Remember this when we resurface that, a video on resurfacing that, saved buying a new one. So if I can come down here, oops, might not what it is. You can see the wedge there. Okay, so you can just tap it into position. It helps to stabilise it. You could use 1, 2, 3 or 4. On this place I've got 4, one there, and I've also got 2 at the other side. Whether or not it needs it, it depends upon you. Okay, so you just need to do it. It's a little bit awkward to get to round the back with the spanner, but you will do it. So best of luck with that one, but you need to do it. The other thing where you could get instability, and the lathe will tend to rock and roll, especially if you're working with face plates and you've got a rather heavy object mounted on the faceplate, because if it's at one side, then they have to do a counterweight at the other side to help to balance it off, because it can tend to go out of balance as it's spinning around. The faster it goes, the more speed it can get an imbalance, and it multiplies. So be aware of that. It doesn't always happen, mainly when you've got a large object, you see. Anyway, what I wanted to say is that it's a useful little hint for that. Tap it in with the little hammer there, mallet thing, and that'll make it look, when you wedge it in conjunction with the screws. And remember to lock the screws. There's one other important thing. Just because you've adjusted it and it's not going to rock and roll, and it feels firm, with a wooden floor, you might come back the next day and find out it's moving again. It's rocking again. That's because the wooden floor moves itself, and it could take quite a long time before it settles down. Remember, we've got half a ton of machine resting on 4 points, so wood does move. And I can tell you, on this particular application, it took maybe 6 months before it settled down. So I had to keep making fine adjustments on the machine, thinking, what's all this? But when you consider the floorboards of a shed like that, subject to that kind of weight, it's self-explanatory. So you must be aware of that and be prepared to make more adjustments. Seasoned wood, it just depends. I mean, I had this workshop purposely built, and I had quite heavy duty wood use in the process of it, but it still took me about 6 months before I stopped having to make adjustments to the machine. Anyway, I wanted to thank you for watching. Oh, and we had one more. We didn't have any new members. We didn't have any new subscribers last week, but the week before we had one. Yes, and that was a Mr. Dog Toffee. Unusual name. Also known as Gordon. But anyway, thank you for that, Gordon. It's nice for you to subscribe, and I would like some more subscribers if you can, please. And tell your friends, share the videos with them. And I hope this particular aspect, it's important. This, you might think it's a bit boring, but really this is an important part of it, just setting it up. And then in a future video I'm going to be showing you a nice product to make, and that'll be coming up shortly. So subscribe to the channel, give us a like, much appreciate it, and just as I appreciate you looking in today. And a warm welcome to our American viewers, which we're getting more of in North America and Canada. It's really, really good. And thanks very much for watching. And also, as I said, subscribe, share as well. And in the meantime, check this out. Okay, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.